sport, the FA Cup. Morning.
Good morning, yes, and sadly for Mr Bill Turnbull, no fairy tale ending for Wycombe, though Wycombe's
He's just
manager...
switched off, I think.
He's like, oh no, not this again. He was there last night, and Wycombe's manager has said that the fans were brilliant. The louder they got, the better the players played, and that when Wycombe fell behind, the singing got even louder. I like to think Bill was leading those
he would have
chants
been, without doubt.
up there on his feet. I'd love to see Bill at a football match. Anyway, good morning. Yes, the FA Cup dream is over for Wycombe. Don't look like particularly good skiers, but hey, that's part of the point, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you. Repeat with Carol, so I'll stick with the money side of things. But let me give you the details. Morning, everyone. Yes, £180 billion in debt. That's more than the annual budget for the whole of the NHS, and that's just on credit and store cards or personal loans, so it doesn't include mortgages. Now, if you have a look at this map, the darker patches show where people's debts have become such a worry, such a problem for them that they have sought advice or help. The darker the colour, the more people needed support. Now, this research has been done for us by the charity Step Change and Experian, and they say what's striking is that debt isn't necessarily connected to where you live. So it can hit cities or villages in areas where incomes are high as well as low. Now, there are 5 places where the highest number of people needed help. Newham in London topped the list, but also in there you'll see we have Manchester, Hull and Sandwell in the West Midlands. So I went to meet Dan.
Oh, it's really clear that he's been through really tough times. How's he doing?
Yes, he's recuperating and has got a new job, which is good news. And he says he finally feels like the weight has been lifted off his shoulders in terms of the money. It's interesting, since I mentioned Dan earlier on the show, we've had lots of messages from people who are saying that they have been in similar situations. Sean was saying he got into thousands of pounds of debt when he was young, when he was 18, 19, and he felt that he wasn't responsible enough, and that's why he went into debt. And he's saying that banks need to be far more responsible. There's a lot of question around where the responsibility lies with this, because obviously some people would say, well, hang on, you take on the debt, you should be able to control it. But yet lots of people here, like Donna, saying getting into debt is too easy, getting out of it takes years. And I think what this research from Step Change shows is that there can be people who feel they are very in control money-wise, and then something can happen in their lives completely out of their control. Like in Dan's case, he had a breakdown after his partner left him. That can really affect how you then control your money, because it becomes less of a priority because you're spending your time on getting better. And that's the issue with the step change thing. It's saying it can happen anywhere, anytime. We often talk about the north-south divide, don't we, when we talk about money? But what they're saying in this is actually it can happen to anyone, anywhere, and that's pretty key to this.
OK, and it's all over the country, as you say. It doesn't matter where you live, this can happen equally.
Yes, and what they're saying is seek advice. I think a lot of people, you know, feel like they put their head in their sand about this, and what they're saying is try and get advice, because there's lots of free advice out there, and that certainly helped Dan. He said once he talked to someone about it, because he felt the shame when he, you know, tried to talk to his family about it, but when he talked to someone independent who could give him some advice, that really made a difference to him.
Clearly he hopes that by talking now to you and through breakfast, he can sort of get his message across.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. People don't like talking about their finances publicly, but what he says is, I actually feel like I should help people by telling them about it.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah, lovely bloke, Dan.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Here for the gas and electricity they're buying. So Uswitch, the price comparison site, are saying this morning it should be more like 10% if we want to see it come down to match where wholesale prices have been changing. We haven't seen a cut from a big energy firm since the summer of last year. And what Uswitch are saying this morning is, you know, customers have been waiting patiently now for at least 6 months to see some change in price, given how much wholesale costs have been falling.
And if E.ONs start, does that mean others will follow? Do you expect a whole raft of these announcements?
Yeah, we often see this pattern where one of them will come out and say we're cutting prices, and then the rest will compete with that, because of course, as they often tell us, it's a very competitive market and they will want to be try and be the cheapest. So we will see, I'm sure, more companies saying the same thing soon.
And you'll keep us up to date. Steph, thank you. See you later.